Maybe you don't know Frank Thompson. Well, I'd like you to meet him. And his wife and children. Nice family group, isn't it? No, you may not know Frank Thompson, but you know someone like him. Some young man in business for himself on his way up. Someone like you, perhaps. A young man with a young man's confidence that as long as he lives, he can provide security for his wife and children. But suppose something should happen to Frank Thompson next week, next month, or next year. What would his family do? Let's see, there's some money in the bank, the life insurance. The house is almost paid for, and, oh yes, Social Security. Today, along with millions of other Americans, self-employed people who work in their own trade or business, like Frank Thompson, have Social Security protection too. And here is what the Social Security law means to Main Street, USA. If you own a barber shop, grocery store, hardware store, beauty parlor, if you are a self-employed music teacher, a freelance writer, a dressmaker, if you are self-employed in any of the hundreds of other trades and services that make up the mainstream of our American way of life, you are now earning old age and survivor's insurance protection under the Social Security law. What does this insurance mean to Frank Thompson and his family? If Frank should die before he reaches 65, monthly payments will go to his widow and to each of his children until they reach 18. The amount of these survivors' benefit payments depends on his earnings over the years. Frank Thompson makes more than $3,600 every year. In case of his death, his wife and 2 children would receive the maximum monthly payment of $168.75. Where the breadwinner's earnings were less, the family payment will be less. For instance, if Frank's earnings averaged only $2,400 per year, $140.10 would be the monthly payment to his family. But what will Social Security mean to Frank Thompson himself later on? If he earns $3,600 each year between 1950 and the time he reaches 65, Frank will receive an old age insurance payment of $85 every month when he retires at 65. At 75, he will receive these payments as an annuity, whether he has retired or not. His wife, when she is 65, will receive an additional $42.50 a month. Now, what does he pay for this old age and survivor's insurance protection for himself and his family? Until 1954, the Social Security tax will be 2.25% on self-employment income up to $3,600. This will increase in gradual steps after 1954. The amount of the tax depends on the amount of earnings during the year. For self-employed people this year, it will be from $9 to $81, depending on earnings in the year. You pay the tax only on the first $3,600 you make in a year. Frank Thompson's business brings in each year more than the maximum amount taxable for Social Security, so he will pay on only $3,600 of net income. The Social Security tax on this will be $81. If you are self-employed, you will make out your Social Security report once a year as part of your regular income tax report on this special blank. Whether the business you own is a large one, employing hundreds of people, or a small business, whether you are the sole owner or a partner. If your net earnings from self-employment are $400 or more, you are covered by the Social Security law. Self-employed farm operators do not earn Social Security credits, nor do people who are self-employed in some professions, doctors, lawyers, engineers, and some others. If you are self-employed, there are 2 things you must do. Be sure you have a Social Security card, and make your Social Security tax report by March 15th, along with your regular income tax report. Remember, the Social Security tax you pay will count towards monthly old age retirement payments for you and your family, and monthly survivor's insurance payments for your dependents if you should die. For more information on Social Security for self-employed people, call or write your local Social Security office.